Hello and welcome back to the Live Rally Game Podcast. My name is Steven Stewart, and I'm excited today to talk about more The Mole, Ohio, Episode 5. Joining us today, we have a very special guest. You may know her as the winner of Survivor Indiana, among other games. You may know her as someone who's actually published a paper about Survivor in an academic journal. But you also may know her as an aspiring mycologist. Joining us is Erin. Erin, how are you doing?
I will never live that down. I'm good. How are you?
I mean, part of me will say I'm sorry for bringing up mushrooms, but I'm really not sorry about bringing up mushrooms.
I know. I feel like we're going to spend a good amount of time talking about that today, so I'm ready. I've prepared.
Have you been brushing up on mushrooms, or is it just like they just intrude in your life and you just can't escape?
Listen, it was a very traumatizing week for me in mushrooms. Well, I can tell you all about it if you'd like.
Please tell us how to lead us up to the mushroom incident.
So right before The Mole, Ohio started on like a Thursday, the week before, at the very last minute, played Survival Challenge. They needed a last minute replacement and I was volunteering to help. And so very last minute, I got to play, which was amazing. It was so awesome. Mm-hmm. I will be forever in their debt that I was able to play. We did a food challenge. And I said, you know what? People had preferences about things. They had food issues. I said, you know what? I don't care. I'll do whatever. It doesn't matter. And it was a challenge where like whoever ate the plate of food the fastest won. And so I got mushrooms, and I grew up in an Italian American family. So I was like, okay, I got this. I did not have this. Props to Katie, who killed those mushrooms. She's a rock star because I had about 8 eaten and she had eaten all 12. They were like mushrooms that are in the jars that are like marinated in vinegar. And like, I know, look at your face, right? I ate, it was
I'm picky.
Was so bad. I was like, it didn't go well. I mean, I lost. But I also was just like sick from the mushrooms I still can't even look at them. So to get this question about mushrooms, I was like, are you kidding me? They're like trolling me. The mushrooms are just like, go away. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a psychologist. I'm not a biologist. You can blame the New York State school system for why I didn't learn this well in 4th grade. But it was honest. It was honest. And I was like, what's worse, me faking it or me actually not knowing what that is? But
I mean, it has this nice side effect where like, okay, if I get this quiz question wrong, everyone's be like skeptical of me because I got it wrong. So it's not the worst thing that could ever happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, had you known the answer, would you have answered it correctly?
Yeah, I would have.
Okay.
Yep. I did very few. I did subtly sabotage things, but it wasn't like, I feel like that would have been obvious because everybody was like, who the hell doesn't know what mycologist is? And I'm like,
I think only 2 or 3 of us knew it, to be honest.
My God. I mean, I've asked people like, hey, do you know what that is? Like just spontaneously to see if people know it. And like smart people don't know what that is. So I'm like, okay, I don't feel that bad.
It makes you better. I only know what it is because of video games.
Okay, well, that makes me feel better. But
my grad school neglected to teach me anything about that too.
Yeah, why would it? I didn't go to grad school for biology. Like I took bio for non-science majors in undergrad. Like, what do you expect? Come on. So anyway, my expertise is very narrow and it doesn't include that.
So I want to back out a little bit.
Okay.
The Mole. Have you always been a fan?
Kind of recently. Last summer I had COVID after playing Survival Challenge the first time. And it was the present we all left with. And I was in bed for a week. And so I watched the 2 seasons that were on Netflix at the like season 1 and 2 of the reboot. I feel like I remember watching the original. I'm old, so I remember watching the original. Like I don't remember details, but I remember watching it when it first came out.
John has a solution for you.
Stop going to Illinois. So don't worry, I think we're good now. But yeah, I remember watching it. I don't remember anything about it. but I remember thinking like, oh, they've brought it back. Okay. And so I watched both seasons there and I thought it was awesome. I actually spoiled the second season for myself when I was trying to Google whether the mole wins money after I watched the first season, because it's sort of lame, like the mole sabotages, but like they're basically out of getting
Mm-hmm.
the money that the winners could earn. So I was Googling whether the mole wins any money. And then it spoiled the second season for me. So I watched the first season not knowing who the mole was, and then I watched the second season knowing it. And I wondered like if that would have made a difference. And then I've met Sean and it wouldn't have made a difference. He comes in hot all the time. He's wonderful. And that's just like him. So sorry if I spoiled it. It's been out for a while. But yeah. Anyway. I know
our resident Mole Ohio says the original over the reboot, but all mole content is good mole content.
Yeah. Tim's a purist. I expect nothing less.
So you watched The Mole.
Yep.
Season 1, Season 2, Netflix. What leads you to decide to apply for the Mole Ohio? How'd you find out about it?
So I met Tim when we both played season 1 of Columbus Traders. Me, him, and Jake knew no one else. And it seems like everyone else knew each other. So we sort of just kind of created this little coalition of people who didn't know anyone and who were all
Columbus Alliance,
right. Right. We didn't know anybody and we were all sort of just like awkwardly standing in the corner. And I just fell in love with Tim. He's wonderful and he's so smart. And he was telling me about his game and I had watched parts of different seasons of it and he's just brilliant. And so I was like, I will play anything you put together. And so then when he was casting for his next season, I applied. So
John informing you that game was a Columbus LRG All-Star season mixed with nepotism and a wild card that was you.
Yay. I know, it was a last-minute addition, so.
I see a trend here of you being a last-minute wild card to throw into a cast.
Apparently, yeah. I don't know. That just sort of like seems to be my reputation, but I don't know why.
So you learn about the Mole Ohio from Tim. Mm-hmm. You apply.
Yep. You
get on the cast. Now, I'm curious, did you want to be the mole or did you want not to be the mole, or you're just like, whatever you want, I'll do?
I didn't have strong feelings either way. So I felt like I was probably not going to be the mole because I feel like you really have to want to do that. And I didn't really care. I was like, this will be fun no matter what. I kind of wanted the challenge of trying to navigate, figuring out who the mole was. I'm a social psychologist. People tend to think they're much better at like sussing out lying than they actually are. People are usually, like on average, people are pretty terrible at it, but they don't know that. Sorry, people. But I know that I'm probably no better than anybody else at this. And so I kind of just wanted to like challenge myself to see how well I do in the moment, whether I would sort of fall victim to like the common things that make you think people are the mole and those kinds of things. So it was sort of like a challenge. I liked the idea of me playing against myself a bit. Like there's less of that, like, oh, you need somebody else to keep you in. Like, yeah, it is contingent upon other people's answers. But if you know the most, if you know who the mole is, like you're good. You're going to go far. So it was sort of a different kind of game challenge for me that I was excited to have.
How did you prepare for the season?
I rewatched seasons 1 and 2 of them all.
Okay. And so what was did you have strategies coming into the game?
No. No, actually, so I'm friends with Wayne. And so I talked to Wayne a little bit and I rewatched his season, the season before ours. And just to kind of see like how people behaved, what people did. And my strategy really was to not be an overt saboteur, because I feel like the more obvious you are, the less likely you are to be the mole. And so I went into it thinking like, okay, I'm going to try to subtly ruin things. When it was maybe obvious to like one or two people. I didn't want to do anything that was going to be obvious to everyone because I felt like that would be too obvious. But like maybe somebody would catch something because I'm figuring people that play this game are going to be attuned to like subtleties, right? They'll pay attention to little things.
Mhm.
They're waiting for something. So like maybe a couple of people would notice that I switched the last two items that I was supposed to tell team 3.
Which I don't know if that ever got out there that it was you that did it. We knew something went wrong.
Well, no, I didn't switch yours. I didn't switch yours. I switched the line that I had to memorize and tell team 3. I switched my last two on purpose.
But I don't think anyone ever pinned it on you.
No. Nope.
Okay. Yeah, we were just like, what the heck? Why did we suck? What went wrong?
No, I mean, I absolutely pinned the error from your team to ours on you all. I was very adamant about that. I don't think this aired, but I told the team 1 that they were not allowed to get food until the rest of us did.
I missed that.
Like, you all just had to look at cards. You can't eat until the rest of us do. And then they didn't. And you all were so, I'm like, please just go eat. I was kidding. But it was Brienne who messed it up. And from what she says now, I mean, what's the point of lying now? It was an honest mistake.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I intentionally switched those two, but only somebody who was actually paying really close attention would have known that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what else I did that was a lot of times I was going to try to sabotage something, but people were like getting on my nerves because they were being like overt saboteurs. And I was like, I can't handle this. Like, just let's get this done. Like the photo challenge. Oof.
What were your thoughts about that?
I was like, at one point, I'm like, okay, because we had been doing this for so long for drink. I do think we had like a very small amount of space to work with. So that was part of the issue. But like as we were working on it, because we did it so many times, I was like, okay, I think we need to like, who's ever taking the picture, I think you need to like move in a circle, like just go like that. Yeah. And even though we look like half circle, it's going to look straight. Like, let's try that. And then like, I forget who it was, but they like, don't do that at all. Somebody goes and sits on a table. I'm like, why are you sitting on a table? Like, how are you going to do that? So it was just like, oh my God. And so then when we went and did the second one, I was like, I'll take care of it. And so I did the picture for title. It took us like 2 times to do it. But for some reason, drink was a tough one. I know we're the awful team that only brought in $10, but drink was tough.
I mean, I can, if you want me to launch the other reasons why I thought you were the mole, I can definitely do that.
Yes, I would love to hear this because you and Luke were like, so I can't wait to see next week's beginning when you two are shook that I'm gone. Cause like, we can't say anything when we leave. So yeah. And I knew I was going. I was like, you could see me in the corner. I was just like, it's me. It's going to be me. It's me. I knew it.
Real fast. John is confessing they may have given my team pointers on how to use a panorama. The answer is yes, because we were sucking so bad, had no idea what to do. Like, we thought you had to walk with the camera. That is currently how you mess up every photo for 30 plus minutes. So John's like, try standing still and just swiveling. We're like, oh.
John's face in one of the, like, in the previews, where like, you all were just terrible. And he's just like, it was amazing. Tim did not give us any tips at all. Tim was like, don't go. He was so nervous that we were going to get yelled at by the bar that we were.
Well, Tim also made you walk to your location too.
I think I did, actually. It was really close. It was like a 3-minute walk. Like, everyone's bitching about the walk. Like, I'm lazy. And it was such a short walk. It was so stupid to have driven. Like, we were really close. So I don't know why people complained about walking. Like, if it's a walk, I'm going to complain about it. That was all Aaron. Yeah, it was me. I was like, let's just walk. Why do we have to worry about finding a parking spot? Like, this is dumb. Let's just walk. I don't know. We're downtown. It was easy.
All right.
And in the video, it's like, oh, we had to walk. I'm like, oh my God.
So my issue was it was hot, and I was like, oh, I'm going to sunburn so fast. So I just beeline to the shade. I'm like,
Well, I think you all had to go farther for your spots than we did. Like, I mean, Luke and Joe's team and Danny, they definitely had to drive. That was like unwalkable. Like they had to drive so far they got lost. Like we were literally down the block. It was across from where we ate dinner that night.
Yep.
Walked to dinner.
Yeah. That's not bad at all.
I mean, it was so close. So yeah, but Tim gave us no pointers. Instead, he was like, don't go too far there, because he was afraid that the bar was going to come out and yell at us, and don't go too close to cars. So we had like this little box we were working in. I love you, Tim. I understand.
All right. So here are all the reasons why
Okay.
I thought you perhaps were the mole.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Episode 1, challenge 1. Our team gets the radio late. You suggest we should ask the question, then later on ask how many letters it is, so we could double check people's answers, which inadvertently caused a lot of chaos.
I know people hated on that strategy because they couldn't lie. So I suggested that. First of all, why did we start late? Why did we not have our radio?
Because the radio was in the glove department, and I missed it on the first search too.
Okay, so I mean, I was in the back seat, but so I said, because we had a list of like, I don't know, 4 across your nickname, right? Your nickname.
I will have to put this on pause because as we discussed before, we have a special guest today. Joining us, we have Jacob. Jacob, welcome to the podcast.
I'm honored, blessed, privileged. I'm so sorry for my tardiness. I am hosting for a game right now. I had tried to get through that as quick as I can. Faced some technical difficulties, but I'm honored to be here. And with one of my favorites from the show, I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm like starstruck. Like I'm that celebrity.
Yes, you.
Okay, or Steven, me?
Well,
both. You're Steven.
Oh my god! Wait! No, this is Steven from the show. Oh my god! Yeah, Tim did not tell me this. Okay. No, he did, but I didn't realize. Oh, it's Steven from the show. So now it's 2 people that I like from the show. My gosh, I don't know what to do with this.
Well, thank you for watching.
Yeah, Jacob, thank you so much for joining us. For those who don't know, Jacob is a fan of the show. He's watching right now. He's also working on an Edgic, which has posed really fun discussion in our chat of what is Edgic and how it works.
I didn't know what it was. I'm slowly learning. I've been given a lot of guides.
Well, I'll be more than happy post-recording to fill you in as much as I possibly can.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, Jacob, would you like to talk about the episode? Do you have questions for Aaron? Where would you like to begin?
I'm kind of just like... Okay, I got a question for me. First question that I do have. Sorry, okay. I'm still starstruck. I'm sorry. I gotta compose myself here. But Aaron, just like... The Mole is a very... I would say pretty alien in the org community. I think we often encounter like social strategy games, your survivors, your big brothers, you're voting people off, you're forming these alliances. And now a lot of the terminology is changing. It's coalitions now. It's now the quiz being the sole determinant as the people going home. So how is it to try to adjust from playing some of these more conventional games, these long-term live orgs? I don't know if you play ORGs as well, but how is it to adjust from that type of mentality to now playing this very niche game?
Okay, so I didn't really do very well, but to me,
you made it the day 3.
It wasn't that difficult to... Because I think maybe it's the way that I view a lot of these games that I'm this was nice because it was more of me versus me. And it was a lot of like me, like I don't know if I'm a social psychologist. So I love these kinds of things where we're looking at behavior and trying to like understand it. And so to me, it was a lot of fun to look at people's behavior and try to figure out like what's authentic behavior, what's people just like bullshitting, and what's people like who's actually like, really who the mole is. Clearly I was not good at it. I mean, I wasn't great. I guess I wasn't like terrible, but it's really hard. And I think I found it fun to challenge myself to try to look at behavior in a really different way than you have to for some of these other shows. I mean, like I went to bed every night, like right after we were done. I was like, bye, I'm going to bed. And that would have hurt me in like a more social strategy game because you're not up talking to people. Like there was one video where I think, Stephen, was it you? You're like, it's 5 a.m. I should go to sleep. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Josh, that was Josh.
That was
decided
Josh.
to
Okay.
sleep
I was
for
like,
some
oh my
reason.
God. So like it was nice to be able to like still have like time and like space to like breathe and, you know, study if you wanted or whatever, and not have it hurt you in the game. However, I mean, I did note like in watching the show, like there's definitely people working together, and I was not like a part of that. So there was some more, like, I think in terms of the social aspect of it, I did fail a little bit, probably because it was my first time playing. And I didn't really know that was kind of an extra part of it, like not critical if you know what you're doing and you know who the mole is, but also could be helpful. But I thought it was fun to play something different. I like to challenge myself in kind of different ways. And so it was fun to do that. And the challenges were fun. They were different kind of fun. Yeah.
No, I mean, obviously, it was a blast to watch you play, and kind of like I remember, like obviously, like I have to like look at not just like the quantity of the confessionals, but also like the quality as well. Like I had to rewatch episodes 3 and 4 for the sake of like revising, not necessarily revising, just like confirming my ratings of people and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I was at the point where like you had a list of all of the people that were kind of like appearing the most in the quiz, and I think that you were so astute and particular to detail. Like you would give your reason. You was like, okay, I'm obsessed with this person, but not just like, I don't know why. It's just a vibe thing. It's just like an instinct.
Yeah, I'm old. I like don't go on vibes. Luke's gonna get mad. I'm not old. Luke, we're not old. Yeah, no, I would memorize I would try to memorize the questions and my answers to then go back and see who I picked the most, because I wanted to know, like, okay, if I stayed, maybe I'm a little bit right. And maybe that could help me figure out how to answer questions the next time when we do the next quiz. And so but that was all based on whether I was right, which, I mean, when I looked at how many I actually got right on each quiz, I was like, oh my God. And so, I mean, on average, we all did pretty poorly.
Yeah. Aaron, just be careful, no spoilers.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I went back and I'm not sorry if I said
you're good. Just like
I mean, but I tried to go back and see, like, if there was evidence for me to think that I was on the right track or not, with how I was answering. So yeah, that was what I did after a couple of the, I think maybe from like the third and fourth quiz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what was your strategy going into the quizzes, Aaron? I know a lot of us felt perhaps blindsided after the first quiz, the quizzes being 20 questions and being very pointed questions as to people's individuals. We didn't have large groups to choose from. How did you approach those?
So I actually had nothing to compare it to. I didn't know that last season was 10. So 20 was like, okay. But I was surprised at how specific the answer choices were. Like, they were literally verbatim from our dossiers. So like Stephen and I had probably the most thorough dossiers, right? Like, I mean, I basically made like an Excel chart in my notebook that had answers for everything for everyone. And so I did a pretty good job of memorizing most people. Like, I think I got things right. Like, if I intended to answer Stephen for something, I think I got it right. I just think I was not picking the right, just picking the wrong people. And so my strategy early on was to spread things out. And then I did that the first few times. And then I started to get a little bit more pointed, but still spreading out, but just not as much. And I've been thinking, you go back and think about everything after the fact. And, as numbers got smaller, I think the way I answered the quizzes was actually counterproductive to me continuing in the game. Like I would do it differently. And no, I'm not going to tell you how, but I would do it differently.
Postseason, we can reveal exactly all the nonsense.
Yeah, no, this is not, let me tell you my next strategy interview. But I would do it differently because I think I worked against myself, I think.
So Jacob, I'm curious because so you're doing Edgic this season, and normally I think of Edgic and Survivor. I kind of think of Edgic as like trying to tell us the true story of who the winner is going to be. In your sense, are you using Edgic to determine who the mole is in this case?
I'm doing like a little bit of both. Like, I think that's been difficult. It's because like I'm trying to because of course this is my first exposure to the mole. Period. Not like not even like a mole, like a LRG or like org. Produced the mole. Like I've never watched even like the actual show, like whether it be like international versions or something like that or the US version. No, so it's like trying to figure out, like deduce, like do I use the same metrics I use for most Survivor seasons or like most pre-filmed shows? Like not to say I did one for Battle Camp off of Netflix, but like a little bit in the back of my mind. It's like, oh, who are they trying to put to the forefront? Like they're going to win the game. I'm doing both. I'm doing both contenders as who I think is most likely to win based off of what we're seeing, but also my guess on who the mole is. What's made it difficult is that my top contender from the first couple episodes to win, I'm like, well, I don't know if I have so much confidence that they're going to go far because they are the mole, or is it because like, oh, they actually have like a winner's edit, if you will. But also like the new era, I think, has really made things very difficult because lots of winners kind of start off like with like a negative tinge in the pre-merge. Maybe get into some type of conflict. Maybe they're irking some people or annoying some people off the bat. Maybe they're perceived as paranoid. Maybe a character first, personality second. So I'm just like, I'm not sure. It's been very difficult to gauge. Aaron was a contender for me, so it took my first hit. I was like, darn. I saw that. I was like, no, I thought she was going to win.
Oh, thank you.
No, just
So I'm curious, from watching Aaron play, what stood out as as either like potential winner potential or potential mole potential? Like what were you seeing her doing to just like that caught your eye?
I think that one thing I've noticed is like tone. Like I know that Tim sent over at least my first 2 episodes to go from over the top mix to complex personality positive. It's a very weird shift.
I know he said something that like he wants to see the rest of them because I could have like the most epic trajectory, and I'm like, I don't know.
Which like I mean, I will say that from like what I do have up until episode 4, because I'm going to rewatch episode 5 again to like lock that in, because contenders now are just, I mean, with you gone through the
Don't worry, we felt the same way in the game. We were like, what's happening?
I was just so shocked. It's one thing when you start off neutral, like, oh, this person's like a good, I think they're going to do well, and then they start getting negative. It's like the David effect in Survivor 48. It's like, oh, this is a really nice guy, but then like you slowly find out he like sucks to be around. Like that is kind of like the thing that you kind of notice. It's just like yours was the opposite though. It was kind of like, okay, there's some people that are really sus of Aaron, but lots of people are endearing themselves to her. People are coming to her defense, being like, I don't think she sabotaged during that challenge. And just like, I just want to believe Aaron. Like when you made Josh grow a heart, because like you were, I think it was episode 4, because again, episode 4 is fresh off my brain, where he was just like, Aaron gave me a look. It's like, please don't do this, because I think he was the most tempted to swap partners during the double. It's like, oh, my heart. Like, no one would. I've known Josh for quite some time. I've never seen him express that type of like, oh, like anguish. I don't want to hurt her feelings to anyone except for you. So I'm like, oh man, this is.
I had no idea that. So interestingly, I had no idea that watching the episode, I was shook by how much Josh and Emily did not want to be paired together. I had no idea about that history. I'm relatively new to this whole community, so I had no idea. And so watching it, I was like, oh, and then I started to feel bad that I was like, please don't do this. Because he was sort of a loose cannon in some of the decisions he would make about like, as soon as we got the tube, it's like, don't open it. He's like, I'm going to open it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? And so I just looked at him and I was like, please just, because he was saying, we like sort of bonded. I think you were there too, Stephen, at dinner, where we were talking about, and we were like going in on Brienne. And and we sort of had like bonding moment at the restaurant. And I think that's where I think if that hadn't happened, he wouldn't have felt bad about saying no, but I was just like, please don't. I don't know why. I was just like, please don't change anything, please. And now looking back, I'm sort of glad that I said that, because I feel like he would have changed it. It would have been driven by external factors, not like strategic decision making, maybe. But I love Josh, and I'm sorry that I put him in that position. I was just like, please don't do this.
Now he was giving you praise. Like, it was like, Erin's really smart. She knows what she's doing. She's calculating all the things in her mind, you know. Whereas in the meantime,
we all ended up being safe, so I guess it worked out. But
yeah, so curious, talk to me about working with Erin with an A that round, because the two Erins somehow get paired together according to Daddy Matt's magic algorithm. Matching algorithm. So you're paired together. What was it like working with him? What was your strategy going into that quiz?
So I knew Erin a little bit from Columbus Traders the second season. And so far, what I had observed of him was pretty similar to how he was in that game. And so I felt like, okay, he's being pretty consistent, but I also, you know, in traders, there is no one way a trader behaves. And so I kind of used that in the mole as well. Like, there's no one way a mole is going to behave, right? You can hide in plain sight. And so I tried to never rule anyone out and never like lock in on somebody. And so I was just trying to like kind of see how things went. But I love Erin. Erin's so nice. So I was like, all right, let's go on our dinner date. But I was, you know, trying to kind of just keep an eye out to see if there was anything that seemed a little suspicious without jumping to conclusions, I guess.
It was an interesting day, because so that dinner date, it's you and Erin across from me and Lachey. And I feel like I did more talking with each of you than I feel like I saw the two of you talking with each other. Maybe I'm remembering that incorrectly.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of I felt like it was more just like us all talking. Like, I remember talking to Lachey a lot because she's also a mom. And so we're talking about like our kids and stuff. And I kind of used it as an opportunity to talk to everyone in a different context, right? Like, we're out of the environment. We're not doing a challenge. Like, I don't know, maybe people are going to like let their hair down. Like, we'll see how people act, and just to kind of talk with everybody else in maybe a more relaxed environment. I was trying to like make the most of that context, I guess. And
then Danny came over and I got fun.
Yeah.
Because then all the information about Brienne was being spread everywhere, and I was like,
Well, and it was so funny because on the walk down there was when I became really suspicious of Brienne. And because I was like, all right, what are you thinking? Like, what's going on? And she was just not giving me anything. And I was like, what? Nothing? You have no thoughts? Like, and she wasn't even asking me the same thing. Like, well, what do you think? It was just like, I was like, okay, this is weird. And then, so I was trying to like kind of talk with other people at dinner to figure out if others were getting others had similar experiences, I guess, like trying to see if there was any like consensus on interactions or like experiences with Brienne thus far.
Jacob, at the end of episode 3 and 4, we have our double elimination of the season, and we see that Danny and Brienne are eliminated. Were you surprised? Were you expecting that? What was your thoughts when you saw the end of the episode? Because then we'll have to talk about Erin's thoughts, because she had maybe a small reaction too.
Two very different reactions. When I saw the pairs, I'm like, okay, this is cute. Generally, most people that are paired together are in similar trajectories. The only one that wasn't to me, as far as like contention and whatnot, was Danny and Brienne. I was like, Brienne, I wasn't entirely sure. She could go like a myriad of places. She could have been that episode boot, which she was. She could be like this end game person, kind of like this under the radar kind of player. One of the most memorable things to me, I guess, is also a memorable moment for you, Stephen, was the postcards of it all, and her then going through each of them is just like, this is what this one says. I'm like, I just can't seem to figure it out. And if someone approached her, with like maybe another variation of a card, maybe an index card, a Pokemon card, a playing card, then she would have just, her head would have exploded. But I thought Brienne was lots of fun. And then Dani was somebody who I was thinking, it's like, oh damn, like she knows what she's talking about. I think she's more into being duplicitous, more into being a little bit self-serving, a bit more self-interested, and was admittedly so. I think there's lots of people who play these games and kind of put themselves on this pedestal, like they're not playing self-interestedly, they're not lying, they're above betraying people, like they're above the things that these games are encouraging us to do. And Dani was not that. So I thought Dani was. I was sad to see both. I like everybody on this cast. Let me just preface this by saying this: like I obviously adored you both, but I loved a significant amount of this cast. And seeing anyone go home, like that was the first time when I was like, it's a double. Like, no, but I like everyone. It doesn't help me out at all. And Dani and Brienne going home, I think that was just. I was not expecting that to go out the way that it did. I have no idea. I didn't know if there was like a precedent with like the mole, like they did this, like this was a twist. Like, oh, everyone was scared. People could go.
I think Tim likes having a double elimination, and it also helps kind of speed the game along too, to eliminate two people at once. They're fun when they're sparing. I don't think any of us were anticipating that the partner twist would evolve into a double elimination twist. And I don't think, certainly, I think in terms of, I know I was looking at Dani a lot. I don't think I was focusing on the brand, but when the two of them go. Everyone, if it's the gas heard around, at least around that house. Aaron, what's going through your mind as you watch the finger print appear for the two of them?
I mean, you can hear me. I like just like I feel like I like dissociated and I just screamed like, what? Like I could not believe, because I feel like we were all at least those of us talking, like there was definitely a consensus at dinner that that Brienne was being, to me, was at least on the forefront of several people's minds as being the mole. And so, and I know, I mean, I didn't necessarily know at the time, but I know from watching it that other people really were sort of locking in on Dani. And so for those two people to really be the focus of everyone's suspicion, at least for that episode, which could also be like, I mean, Tim's an amazing editor, so like maybe that's part of it, but like for them to leave, I was just like, everything I know is wrong. Like I know nothing. What is happening in the world? Like I could not believe. And they were both such strong players. And like, I mean, everybody is. So I feel like at that point, and the first two, I felt like were so random, right? Like Riley and Noah leaving, like it's always like the first two in any game is really sort of random, I think. Maybe not random, but just kind of.
We gotta keep the tribe strong.
But like, I don't know. I felt like these were two people who were playing hard, and really people felt strongly that at least one of them was the mole. And so for them to both leave, I was just like, what? I was shook. And yeah.
Jacob, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, no, because I remember, like, obviously Dani and Brienne were, I think, a big subject of suspicion, especially during that episode too. Yep. A lot of Dani's targeting kind of stemming from episode 2 with her taking the tube, but also like so intertwined with Joe and Luke, which also just so happened to be another pair on top of that. And I think just watching the episode, Dani was the most nervous. Like Dani was like, we need to lock it. I don't know if I can curse, but I would quote her.
Yes, I cursed.
You can.
Yeah.
Dani told Brienne she needs to lock the fuck in. And I was just like, I could just feel it. I was like, and that was in that moment where, as a viewer, I'm like, no shot. that Danny Brand go home, right? Like,
No.
there's no way. It's like I went through all 7 stages. I speed ran the stages of grief, but harped too much on the denial part. Like I was like, no, they did not go home. There's a twist.
Yeah.
Danny's gonna come back. There's a
Right.
battle back in the bowl. Apparently, maybe there's a groundhog competition, and
It
she'll
worked
burrow up
season 4.
from the hole, and then she's back in the game. I was like, no, it's nothing's happening. I was just utterly shocked, and it's tragic too, because it's like you could tell just how, like, I think of the 5 pairs, they were the most concerned about each other. It was like
Mhm.
they had very different suspicions. Their
Yep.
suspicions were on each other, but now it's like, okay, well, if they are the mole, then good. But I think especially Brienne even cited Danny's reaction to it being a double elimination as her immediate thinking, like, no, it's not Danny. So there's a legitimate chance I'm going to go home. And like they kind of realized that in that moment, whereas I think most of the other pairs were kind of like preparing themselves in advance. Like there's a chance that this person is the mole. I think there was 5 very interesting dynamics there, and Danny and Brienne being aversive to one another, but then just right before the quiz is about to start, which is like, we need to get a game plan started.
They like completely were. They got it together. Yeah, I said in my post elimination interview that it was actually a very helpful elimination for me because I had become very suspicious of Brienne. I think, and I mean, a lot of this is a blur now, but I think Aaron and I had gone a different direction in our quiz answers, but I was still suspicious. And so that I feel like was a really, and I didn't want them to leave, but I felt like in terms of navigating things and figuring things out, it was helpful because they were 2 big targets.
Because I certainly felt in the game like there's like when someone goes home, you're just like, well, I wasn't suspicious of them. This sucks. You're just
Right.
like, I want people to go home that make it easier for you to figure out the mole. It's not
Right.
harder. So you want the people you've written off to be the one that go out. And you're like, all right. But at the same time, if people you were suspicious go out, you're like, okay, well, now I know that I was on the wrong track. I need to fix myself before things go poorly.
Yeah, you're welcome, because 3 in a row that people suspected.
Speaking of suspicions, Aaron, my favorite moment in the episode, it's you and Aaron with an A talking post the double. And Aaron with an A is like, I could be safe just because I'm with the mole. And you're just like, I'm not the mole. He just kind of chuckles at that comment.
Yeah, I went back and watched that again.
I love that moment. I'm curious, at what point did you realize that people were starting to suspect you as the mole?
Oh, the whole time. I was very aware. Yeah. I think because, well, yeah, I don't know. I just felt like people did. I mean, and people told me too. I don't think people
Who told
were hiding it, that they were like, I think it's you. And I was like, okay. Like,
Wait, so who told you to your face they thought it was you were the mole?
I feel like you did at one point. You were like, I'm
No
suspicious of you. And I think
Yeah,
I
maybe
said,
I
I'm
did.
suspicious of you too.
Okay.
I feel like maybe Luke did. Aaron, maybe. I don't know. I feel like people did. Like, it wasn't like I wasn't surprised to hear that that people thought it was me. I was surprised that I pissed Luke off. So I love Luke. I made him so mad in that last episode, and I thought it was hysterical watching it back.
Tell us about Jurassic Park, Aaron.
I love dinosaurs, and it was just, and I had truly nothing to hide. Like, watching it back, knowing now that I'm not the mole, I feel like it has to be funny for people who are like, why is she deflecting? Like, it wasn't. Like, that was just that's me. That's how I am. Because I was like, this is taking forever. And we're just sitting here shooting the shit because why are people going outside? Like, we had no idea what was going on. It was taking a really long time. But I also didn't realize that your spidey senses went up as soon as I showed everybody the card. I thought it was part of the game. I thought it was our next challenge. So I was like, here's a card. And you were like, why would you do that? I don't know.
I was so gobsmacked by you just dropping the table in front of everyone. It's like, what's this?
Because I walked in and I was like, we've got mail, and I threw it on the table. I didn't know that it was, because at that point I had no idea about the other postcards.
Well, I think Brienne had them all. That's why no one knew.
She had them all, and she didn't tell anyone. She was going to tell me about it if I went in Rachel's car with her, but then I had to drive to that thing. So I had no idea. This was the first thing I saw. I thought it was our information about what we were doing next, right? Like the phone had rang. Like that's random. I thought it was just like a random thing next, and apparently that was like the stupidest thing I could have done.
Well, it made us think you were the mole. So
somehow I still went home though. Oh my god.
Wait, so Brienne took the postcards with her after she got eliminated?
Oh yeah, I mean, I never saw them. I mean, there is. I do wish there was somebody filming like some of the outtakes, like those of us spiraling afterwards. But yeah, no, she took them. I'd never seen any of them except the one, and this was the worst. That you picked, that I got the one that had the Dayton Art Institute on the back. I went to the Dayton Art Institute this weekend. I almost sent you a picture of it because I'm like, this looks like the Dayton Art Institute. And like, why is that on here? Tim knows the difference. I live in Dayton. And so I'm like, why is that here? And then we looked it up and Luke's like, it's the Dayton Art Institute. Who lives in Dayton? And I'm like, oh, great.
So for the first challenge we have this episode, right? The phone rings, players answer, and the first two players are pulled outside. Aaron, did you want to answer the phone, or you fine with other people? Okay, so you were like,
I didn't even think about getting out of my seat. No.
And so we essentially, the five of us left behind, have to figure out which of the three which is telling the truth and which two are lying. I'm Jacob, curious, when you were watching it, could you tell who was the true teller here and who was the liar for that challenge?
No. I mean,
who would you have voted for, Jacob, as the true teller?
I just when in doubt, vote Josh out. That would have been my thing, and he wasn't even eligible to vote for. I would have just been like, I don't like this. Josh, you're lying about what you're thinking. I just would have. I didn't know. I honestly, that's a testament to the truth tellers and the liars as well. You know, their ability to just blend in so seamlessly. I think it's also like, because aside from Josh, I don't really know anyone. Like I guess Noah, but Noah's gone now. But like everybody else, I'm just like, this is my first exposure to them. I can't do their tells. I was hoping maybe y'all would give me the information like preemptively and just be like, okay, so this person is lying, this person is telling the truth. And it's just like the audience knows. The question is, will the players also know? That's what I was hoping for. But that moment did not come until
no. And when Aaron said he stopped listening, I was like, what? Like you could see my head tilt. Like, what? You stopped listening?
I don't think we any of us anticipated that the true teller would be incentivized not to tell the truth.
Right. We had no idea. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what really thrown us off. Because I think had that happened, maybe we would have been more skeptical of him. But I just said like, liar, writing him off, moving on.
Yeah. I mean, and the other part too is that like we didn't. I mean, I live in Ohio, but like I didn't study the head tilt. I didn't study Wilmington. I know a lot. Like I know about the Cincinnati chili, but like I knew that one. You should have given me that question. Give Danny the mushroom.
Darn you did.
But I had no knowledge, like Wilmington specific knowledge. So they all said stuff. They all could have been lying. I had no idea at the time whether any of it was true or not. But when Aaron said, I turned the volume off or I stopped listening, I was like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, and yeah, but again, we had no idea that they were incentivized to lie or that it was going to be connected to the next thing.
Yeah, because I've thought like, all right, like the way I viewed it is like whoever I'm voting for is getting some sort of advantage. Who I want to give an advantage here. I just didn't think the advantage would be something that played into the next challenge, which were introduced by the most notorious player from the
Richard Casino.
Richard Casino, baby.
Wait.
And as we enter Richard's Casino, we're told that we're going to draw from a lottery to see who gets jokers. And you can up your odds by buying extra balls, and then you have a chance to vote 3 people out. And if you successfully vote the people out who got the jokers, you get money. And if you fail, you're going to lose money, and people are going to end up with jokers. Aaron, you purchased the extra balls, and everyone did but Luke, to be honest. Was it even a decision for you?
Yeah, it was. I went in there and I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to buy the balls. Like, because I felt like I always, in games like this, I always think more collectively than I do about myself. And it doesn't always pay off. And so in this case, I was like, you know what, let me just give myself the best odds. And that was kind of how I played it, even out with everyone, right? Like when we were sitting at the table making decisions about stuff, trying to give ourselves the best odds. I had no idea that I was legitimately surprised that everyone else also did the same thing, which also I really should have just been surprised that Luke didn't. But I was glad that I did, even though it didn't really help me. But yeah, no, it was a question. And then I thought to myself, like, what are you doing? Like, do what can give you the best odds. Like, but I had to like really, it wasn't just like a knee jerk reaction. Like, yeah, I'm going to put the extra balls in and spend money on it.
Jacob, any questions from you about the 3 voting rounds and who went out and why? Or do you feel like you have a good sense of what happened there?
I know that Tim uploaded the voting.
Yes.
I don't know if Tim uploaded it from this most recent, like the last, because what the 3 ones that were uploaded were which ones? It was
So round 1, Lucas
yeah.
voted out. Round 2, I am voted out. Round 3, Emily is voted out, and that leaves Josh, Aaron, and Joe successfully having safeguarded their 2 jokers that they use in that quiz.
And I'm the only one there. Oh, me and Lachey were the ones that didn't.
You aided and embedded them. How dare you?
I know.
This is why I
was really looking. Well, so interestingly, when I was in grad school, I worked with somebody who did like hypnosis induction. And so one of the things, it's so random, but one of the things that you do to like test for whether people are hypnotized is to have them smell vinegar. Because people will lie about being hypnotized. But part of the script is to tell them that it smells like roses. And if you're really hypnotized, it's not supposed to be an offensive odor to you. It's going to smell like roses. So, but we would always, when you put vinegar in front of people, you could tell who the liars were because they immediately like jerk back. So I was watching everybody waiting for that reaction with the vinegar, and nobody had it. Like, I couldn't tell who was reacting to the vinegar. And I was like, well, I have no idea. Like, to me, when he said that was going to be one of the things, I was like, okay, great. This will give me something. Someone's going to react to it, because who knows who goes around smelling vinegar and drinking vinegar? Like, somebody's going to react. No.
Clearly somebody's played a lot of Columbus style LRGs.
Right, exactly. Y'all are brilliant vinegar drinkers or super diluted.
Yeah, no, like I remember like just like the prior episodes, they talk about I keep forgetting the damn name. I know Josh says it in every episode, but just the name is not coming to me right now. The Sus Squad.
Sus Squad, yeah.
The Sus Squad. And when I first heard that this was formed, I'm like, good for you, but like, if I'm understanding the format correctly, I was like, okay, what benefits are there reaping of it? Something, and this is kind of like almost like a opportunity for it to be advantageous. You know, like if 1 or 2 of them, or even all 3 of them, want to be selfish here, and they want to end up getting a joker, you know, they can ultimately get their pick of whom they vote out, and almost strive to guarantee that they all have an advantage in the quiz, or if the mole is amongst them, then like they can keep the people who trust them the most as people who are going to move forward in the quiz. I feel like, for what I do also know, I actually know Richard Casino. I've hosted him before. He made it to Final Tribal Council. It was a fun game. I was like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah, I totally forgot he played this. I know he played an LRG, but I was like, oh, fun. Now getting back, like looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, that thing, neat, cool, awesome, amazing, spectacular. But no, it was just like that was probably one of my favorite challenges here. I think there's this one, the panorama, if not almost entirely just for everybody struggling to that, because I also don't know how panorama mode works. That and the golf challenge. I was like, okay, like that. Now it's slowly climbing up to the upper echelon of Mole Ohio challenges, in my personal opinion.
So, here's Aaron. So, the first round, who did you vote for?
Aaron.
Okay. And then second round, you vote me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty unanimous. And then third.
Yeah. Yes.
And then third round, you vote Emily.
Right.
And when you were voting Emily that third round, did you think she had a reaction to the vinegar? Is that what or just like, hey, I'm like everyone's
no, I just was so mad at everybody. I mean, I literally say into the camera in the outtake, like, I hate everybody right now. Like everybody was just like, I don't know. I was just like, I can't. And that's part of the game too, which I wasn't expecting, that like people are trying to throw you off. And so there's a lot of that bullshitting involved in it. And so it was like, I don't know. I was just really annoyed at that part. And so I had no idea. And I knew I was being manipulated, but I couldn't figure out who, because people were saying different things and I knew they were trying to shift things, but I should have just stuck with Aaron the whole time. Again, it wouldn't have, for me personally, it wouldn't have mattered. I still would have gone home. But which I was actually happy to see that the Jokers didn't really matter. They didn't come into play. But I knew I was being like toyed with, and it really annoyed me. But I couldn't figure out how to beat it in that moment.
I feel like I messed up because so what you don't see in the episode is that Emily and I claim our numbers immediately. And then Tim's like, wait, no, you can't do that. Emily and I
Were you telling the
our
truth?
number, and Tim has squashed any other conversation like that. And so the first round, we all just kind of, it's a wild vote. It's like 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, right? Second round, Aaron claims the same number as me. Aaron with an A claims the same number as me. There's a back and forth that I am out. And I should have said that moment. It's like, hey, if I'm eliminated with no Jokers, you should take out Aaron with an A next because clearly he's lying right now. Right? I should have said something like that to kind of say, hey, if I go, take him with me,
right?
as a spite move. But
we wouldn't have known. Did we know? Did we find out right away?
I think they just say like this person did or did not receive the Joker. So you have no
I can't remember. Much. Yeah.
All right.
But
so,
then the third one was also 3, 2, 1, right? It was 3 votes, Emily, 2 votes, Aaron. Oh, okay. So 1 vote.
I think I was the one.
So it was interesting to see that happen. And so ultimately 3 players walk out with 2 additional Jokers. So essentially almost half the cast has an advantage going to the quiz. It's not a feel-good moment for us non-Joker players. Now, without spoilers, with Bran and Danny eliminated in the last episode, how are you approaching this next quiz, Aaron?
My approach was, I think I split it on like maybe just 2 or 3 people. Like I kind of did like I chunked it. Like somebody was going to get more, and then another person was going to get a couple less, and then another person got like still more than other people, but not as much as the other 2. I think that was my strategy. But that wasn't the right way. That's not how I should have approached it, because I had strong feelings, but I didn't have a lot of evidence to back that up. And so I should have spread it out more. I think I would have done better given that I know how many I got right. I would have done better spreading things out more, because we had so many questions. Like we actually were at an advantage, I think, having so many questions that we could potentially spread more than if we just had 10. I didn't necessarily realize that at the time.
I don't think anyone in this cast did.
No, we were all like, "Oh, 20 questions! There's so many questions." Like, okay, but it actually, I think, was. I mean, again, it's only an advantage if other people don't know who the mole is.
Yeah.
Like you're all like, right? It's contingent upon other people knowing more or less or the same as you. And but I knew I was going home. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember my response. Like I was sitting in the corner, like, it's me. I'm going home. Like I said it as soon as we started. I was like, that's it. I'm done. I just knew it.
Fun fact from the Mole Ohio: Richard Casino is who we can blame for the 20-question quizzes. We now know who the enemy is. It is Richard.
Richard.
Sorry, Richard, if you're watching this. I'm trying to think. So I'm looking at my notes. So on the morning of day 3, I went through the players and I wrote about them.
Mm-hmm.
And the first word I used to describe you, Aaron, is scary.
Why?
I think so. Like, I'll just read excerpts. So scary was pushing Brienne's name to me. Is she in a coalition with anyone like Joe? If I'm not hearing her name, there may be a reason why. So I'm worried other people are thinking about you. Let's see. Then the round 2 challenge 1, you missed the mycology question. Round 2, challenge 2, you broke the chain. Round 3, challenge 1, her team did okay, but they got low value numbers. They said they were cramped for space, but is that true?
So I mean, fun fact, based on my decision with the chain, we should have had the 6. We should have kept the 6. Because I didn't take anything. So I kept it the same.
Which was the most perplexing thing to me ever. Is like, why would she take it? Why would she take it? Surely she would take it. Why did she take it? I just couldn't believe that. And I was trying to reconcile this the entire time. I
felt like it was early enough in the game that I could spread answers enough and still be okay. Like I didn't feel like I wouldn't have done that later in the game. But I felt like it was early enough to where, like, okay, I can still spread answers out among a lot of people, and I'll probably be fine.
I know you can't give spoilers away for future mole games, but generally, if you were to play a regular mole game, would you change your approach?
Probably. I mean, clearly, yes. I would not do the same thing because I would be here on episode 5 with you again. I think there's, I think you have to think about it too in terms of the money. The money is only as good as for you if you get there, which was part of the reason why I said, tell us how many balls people put in. It's money that we don't have. We're not going to get it, but who cares? Because we need information to continue, right? Like I don't care. $15 is nothing to me if I'm out. But I also was coming from a position of where like, it was a tough decision for me to pick 4.
And then everyone put them in.
And then everyone else is like, they don't even think about it. They're like 4, except Luke. Luke with the heart of an angel is like, no, I'm not picking 4. So I think, I think the money is only as good to you if you get there. And if you don't get there, who cares what other people get? Like, that sounds mean, but like, I mean, I think a lot of us play these games more to win than to win money. It's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've played games where Survivor games where I've slept in the woods on the ground for days to win nothing.
And I paid for it.
Right. I paid for this experience. Right. And I've won nothing. And so, I think when you're playing for the real mole, I think there is probably a different kind of strategy if you're going to, because it's so much more, right? The stakes are so much higher. Yeah. But not to say that the stakes aren't high here, but I do think there's, I think there's, maybe you're more incentivized to play a tad more selfish game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's
more
a
selfish than I
discussion I've heard with other people where the money isn't high enough to incentivize people to pay selflessly, and so
Right.
it's like, what's $5?
Yeah. But I do think you can sort of weaponize selfish and selflessness in a game like the Mole and use it strategically in different ways, which I didn't necessarily know I was doing, right? Like showing the postcard was, I guess, maybe I don't know how was it perceived as selfless? I have no idea.
I think for me, it was the fact you gave information away willingly.
Yeah.
And that was, which is something I don't feel like players generally do. You want to like hoard your advantages. I was like,
Right.
why is she sharing this? Because she wants to spread what I know is disinformation.
Or yeah, I don't know. I mean, but like, yeah, it's I was watching Destination X on Peacock, and they talked about this. They're like, you're willingly sharing information. Why? And I was like, what a good question. Like, what a good thing to think about. I wish I'd watched it before I played. Because it's currency, right? It's the way you get things. I think working more with people to find out like who they're leaning towards before the quizzes would be good. I didn't really do that.
Yeah, like Noah going all in. Didn't know that till postseason.
Right. Yeah, I had no idea. Now, would Noah have told us that? I have no idea. Right. Because again, you're looking at things based on what people tell you. And how much they feel like lying. This is a game where like telling the truth isn't necessarily like it doesn't necessarily benefit you, right? But yeah, so I think like those kind of little things that I would do differently.
Jacob, as we wrap up here, do you have any final questions for Erin about her experience or the episode or anything at all?
I actually do. I have a comment more so than a question, because I mean, this is also just adding on to the tragedy it is of like you going home, like you have to, like the importance of like, because like I've played games both where like there is no money to gain, no money to win, and then there's a game that I played and won and immediately spent $100 on like that. Like this is not like life-changing money for people. Like add maybe a couple more zeros, people are going to be a little bit more perturbed and a little bit more disappointed in the outcome. And I think it shows that everybody there was more so there for the experience and for the sake of glory. Like I overcame this. I came into this game. I conquered. I overcame and outlasted them all, outsmarted them. I do, of course. I, as someone who is just watching, and Tim is not giving me the inside scoop. I've tried. I've bribed him, but he will not let me know who won this damn season. And I'm gonna have to wait like everybody else. I was like, I guess, but I am super excited to see how this unfolds. I'm sad to know that it's not you, because you've been an absolute pleasure to watch just from a spectator's perspective. I do at least want to ask about your final episode here, because we see a lot of Josh in the back half of this episode. You know, he had one-on-one with Aaron with an A, you know. He had his little thing talking to Emily, was talking to Joe a little bit. Like, where were you during your final moments of your tenure in the Mole, Ohio, if you can recall? Like, it was like the last person you spoke to.
I jokingly said a few episodes ago, I was like, I think I purple edited myself. So you're a Survivor fan, like, you know, that makes sense to you. But like, I was like, I think I just like, I don't know, I did my confessionals, but I feel like I really purple edited myself, like out of this game.
We should have grabbed the camera and say, film this discussion. You and I had a really fun discussions about Survivor, I can say.
I mean, you and I shot the shit about so many things. I mean,
that's great.
Yeah.
I want to be part of these conversations.
You missed a whole conversation. Tim edited out a whole thing about Return to Oz, right? Just to probably spare Luke. But yeah, I don't know. I think leading up to it, after I took the quiz, I knew I was done. So I was probably just sort of like kind of sulking around because I knew, and like there wasn't that much time, but I think I was just in the room. No, I knew that like I think I even said in a confessional, like, I think I just put the final nails in my coffin. Like I kind of knew. I just did.
Yeah, because like we're in the billiards room, we go take the quiz in 1 or 2 locations, then we go back to the living room, and you're kind of in there in purgatory waiting for everyone else to arrive.
Right.
Like you can talk about something that doesn't matter, but you can't really talk game stuff until after the execution ceremony. So
Yeah.
you're kind of just sitting there like, well, I hope I really didn't mess up.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just like, hoping for the best, but I knew, I was like, I don't know how I make it through this, really. Especially, and I think because I assumed that people having 2 jokers was automatically going to destroy me. It didn't, but I knew I destroyed me. But I thought that was, additional barriers that I would have to overcome. So, yeah, I was kind of just like, damn it, I don't want to leave. I don't want to be out. I don't like to lose.
You will see Aaron in the finale. So
wait, because we do.
I'm no longer sulking anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a live finale.
Oh yeah.
Aaron, as being a resident of Dayton, comes back for it.
Yes. Yeah. I went home that night, saw my husband and daughter, and then I was like, all right, I'm going back the next day. And I came back for after lunch and got to watch. That's when we all like spiraled upstairs.
Jacob, my question to you as we finish out here: do you have any predictions about how you think this series, how this season will go? Do you want to say like, hey, here are my, or if you don't want to say it, say here if I had the ranked top mole suspects, here's what I'm thinking at the moment.
Okay, here's the thing. This is simultaneously the best and the worst episode recap for me to appear on. It's the best because it works for me. I don't work on Tuesdays. This is perfectly fine for me. Worst because I don't know, and the episode definitely did shake up a lot of my like perceptions of people, because it's like, I don't want to pick somebody who I think has been they're shoving right in my face. I feel like that's like a red herring, you know what I'm saying? Like someone like a Josh after episode 1. I'm like, I'm not entirely interested in picking him, because I feel like there needs to be a little bit more balance, if you so say. But at the same time, it's like, well, maybe I don't know. Like this is unprecedented for me because I've never watched The Mole even casually, let alone from like an epic perspective. So I'm like trying to make out like, are we talking like new era? Like, is it someone who's maybe more on the negative side? Like, do the producers secretly hate this person? Like I'm just trying to like think of like what the thing here is. I will say that from episode 1 on, my top mole suspicion has stayed the same, but my contenders for winning have not. And for me, that's I think it's Joe. But like just seeing it right now, that's who I perceived. At first, it was like, I don't know if this person's the winner. I don't know if this person's a mole. I think he's hidden for the long haul. That was my prediction. All the hell I know, it's episode 6. Joe's gonna be here, and I'm gonna be like, what do I even do now? Like, I was like, there's other people. I'm like, Emily, I'm starting to get a little suspicious of.
Tim is informing us he bases all his decisions on new era Survivor trends. Be very afraid, folks.
I am very scared because now I'm like, maybe it is Josh. I don't know. Okay, cool. JK. But no, I'm. If I had to put my money on somebody, I'm Richard Casino. I'm going all in. Right? I have to. I want to say Joe, but on the off chance it's not Joe, that I want on record that I also suspected, even if it's a little bit Emily. So that if it is Emily later on, it's like, hey, I was kind of right. It was like 12.75% correct, not locked in as I was with Joe, but like, that's kind of I really do not have no idea. I personally, we can talk a little bit more after the podcast.
For sure.
Yeah.
My extensive, thoughts on like everybody's edit and their winning prospects so far. But first, I just want to say, since we're here, I know you said you were wrapping up. Thank you for having me. I know that Ted's been trying to get me on for a couple episodes now. I asked, it's like, is this something I because I didn't know, I offered to do it. I saw his story and I was like, I'll do it. Like I got nothing better to do with my life right now, so I just am just honored. Just, I don't know. Really appreciative. I'm again apologize for me being late to this.
That's
sad.
what mattered.
I'm sad I missed 17 minutes.
You missed the motion conversation, but you can always go back and watch it.
Yeah.
No, but I will. We'll do.
Aaron,
yes.
For our viewers, any teasers for what they should expect next episode?
I mean, I feel like this season is just like, from episode 3 on, or 4, I should say, it's just like, expect the unexpected. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm basing that on like feedback we're getting from like prior to the episode and then after, like, you know, it's like worlds are being shook every episode. And yeah, I think it's I think everybody will be entertained to the end.
And there's fun art being made next episode.
Yes.
So get
BB
excited
Comics?
for our 7 remaining
It's like
players.
it's like kindergarten art class.
Okay, never
For
mind.
money.
Okay.
No,
Love it.
it's really fun. It's really, really good. Watch the preview for this week's episode. It's hysterical.
Definitely have to check it out.
All right. I think that's all here. Aaron, thank you so much for joining the top of your game. Jacob, loved
for
having you.
having
Thank you. We love you seeing your edX, so we're excited to see what you think about as the season continues.
Yes, I can't wait.
Thank you all for tuning in. This is another episode of the Live Rally Game Podcast. If you're following the Mole Ohio, the next episode will drop this Thursday night. Stay tuned and see what happens. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.